On this episode, we're gonna haul some big rocks off, stuff I couldn't move with my Mini X. We're gonna get all ready to set up our footings. We're gonna work on all of our steel, get everything ready to set up so we can pour this shop footing. Well, winter's over. We're back to work. We're gonna get this house done. I had to hire a big excavator because this is too deep. I just can't do it. And stuff like massive rock here. So he's gonna dig all this out. We're gonna haul it across the street. Next step's footings. That's the kind of machine you need to get that big rock over there in the corner out. Before the big excavator could come, I had to relay out the house because all winter long we've been driving all over it and it was all gone. I actually put some nails in the ground and found them with my metal detector so I could relay out pretty easy. Once that was all done, we were ready to rock and roll. Oh, look at the reach on that bad boy. So this excavator has an onboard laser. He's checking the depth, 12-foot depth, and then he's setting his 8-foot step all inside the cab with the laser. It's awesome. That's like 6 scoops of my Mini. So the back half of the house hole was like all boulders. Unbelievable. I hauled 15 loads probably of straight boulders off. It was terrible. One of the last things I had to have him do was move these big rocks. There was just no way I could move them. So we dug and dug on them, pulled that little guy out. What we do is pull a lot of dirt behind it so that when you roll it, that dirt falls in and it can't go back in the hole. It took a while. Now we got to move the big rock. This is the one I've been worried about, and it's right in the middle of the shop footing. After a bunch of digging, he finally was able to crack it loose, but that was only half the battle. It probably took us 2 more hours to get that rock out of there. It is so dang big and heavy. We'd pull and crank on it. We'd have to dig ramps, put dirt behind it, all sorts of tricks. And finally I had to jump in my Mini and pack dirt behind it as he rolled it out. And it was a pain. We had to push and pull and dig behind it, put dirt behind it every time we lifted it up. That's the biggest rock I've ever seen moved with an excavator. I had to have him place the rocks kind of where I thought they might go because there's no way I'm ever going to move them again.
Our building just showed up. He has to back down because there's nowhere to turn around up here.
Got a semi-load and a gooseneck load. And I grabbed the forklift and unloaded, but I didn't have time to record. All right, welcome back. Been a long winter. I haven't been able to work up here for months. Probably since, I don't know, December. Either that road was too snowy for the dump truck or every other problem. Too much snow, too much mud. Anyway, we're finally back at it. Hauled in, had a big excavator come and dig the hole. Here's some video of that, but there's no way I could have done that with the Mini. Big rocks, and it's 12 feet deep. And then he came back and made these pads for me, got everything ready. Now we're setting up footings, working gravel, and we're gonna try to get some footings in. Finally get started again. Okay, I went around and checked to find the high point on this pad. If I set my footings on top of this pad, this 12-inch footing, 185 yards of gravel I got to bring in. So I'm going to scratch the footings down and get it about 3 inches above this grade to the bottom of my floor, which is the top of my footing. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to go up 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go set a stake, which will be my grade stake that will reference everything from. And then I'll go down 12 inches from that and start digging. I'm gonna put this way out of the way so it won't affect anything. Too low. 1/2 inch low, but that doesn't matter. This will be my reference for the whole job for the top of the footing. So I want about 3 inches to 12-inch footing. So 3. I'm gonna go down 9 inches. On a laser, remember to go down, you gotta go up with your laser. The laser's too high. I'm gonna go lower it and reset. So I just went and spread out my legs, brought my laser head down, and reset. No, she's not level. Jeez. See, I just changed my laser, but I've got my reference. It doesn't matter. I gotta go up 9 inches. Up to the 8. So that'll give me, it's gonna give me the bottom of my footing. So what I've done is sprayed out the outside of the footing. I got lazy here. That's just the outside. I know it's 24 inches wide to the inside. I'm gonna have to shut up. I've got these all marked out. I'm just gonna go along and dig down to this laser. I got a lot of digging to do in this corner. And then all that's gonna save me 100 yards of hauling gravel up here. Let's get started. Well, it's starting to rain. I put the cameras away, but you get the idea. I'm gonna dig up. I'm gonna dig out the footings. Okay, my next step. The stuff's super rocky, and when you dig it, it's a mess. And I hate working on a mess like that, so I set my laser back up to my 9 inches, and I'm just raking gravel out to grade. And then I'll compact it again. We'll talk about compaction later. It's a whole lot of fun. Low right there. So gravel, when you put gravel in, it doesn't go at 100% compaction. Whew, I'm out of shape. So I hit it with a vibratory plate. Jumping jack wouldn't do any good here. Vibratory takes all that stuff and locks it together, and then you're in at 100%. Anytime I disturb soil or dirt, it's gonna have bearing. It always gets compacted. Never make that mistake. Always, like always. Okay, we got all of our footing gravel compacted. He's still compacting over here. This is a Stabila LA180L layout station that I use for square, and it will find this and then it will shoot square. So I got my laser right here, right on my first corner. Now we'll go see. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so funny story. I'm trying to show off my fancy laser. I love this laser, but we just could not get it to rotate and find the eye. So I packed it up in a box and I shipped it to the company, and they called me and said, yeah, your batteries are dead. So it works great now. Okay, a little technical difficulty with the Stabila, but we got it straight. And now we have the square of our string line on the back wall, which lines up perfect with our corners down in there, but this is going to go long. So that's how we found our square, and then we'll pull measurements off of all of that. Now we got to pull our 50 feet. The building's 50 feet. We're going to hook on that first stake. You just mark your string. Okay. And you level down from your mark. Okay, what we're staking is the outside corner of the foundation wall, and then we'll build our footings off of that. Now I gotta pull a 50 foot and 100 foot and all that. Of course, there's just one rock that's right in the footing. The old porter had to cut it out and chip it out. I got that on video. Everything tied. Gotta raise our mats. After tying rebar all day, we got from here to there. That's 100 sticks of 5/8 already. It's ridiculous. So we put our corner in. We found this corner. It's, you know, within an inch or so. It's good enough to set the forms up, and then once we get the form set up, then we'll chalk the exact square on these cross 2x4s, and that will get us dead money where the wall is, so we can put our J-bar in. Okay, so what I'm doing here is putting spreaders across the footing, and then I'm putting a 2x4 on edge at whatever the dimension was off the outside footing, so that I can run the steel mate on top of that and lock my rebar into those for when we pour. All right, we're using fast foot. It's a plastic bag type deal. All you gotta do is set 2x6s with stakes, and you come along and tack in this bag, and it holds the whole mess. No leaking, no nothing. It's a whole lot faster, but the benefit is you don't have to use all this 12-inch material. So I can reuse all this 2x6 in the house. Actually, I'm going to reuse every bit of what you see here in the house. This fast foot's a whole lot quicker way to do it. So I struggled with this purchase, but I'm so glad I did it. This is the Metabo rebar cutter bender, and it is awesome. It chops bar like nobody's business. Those are 5/8, did them all day, just ripped through them. And then it also bends on a 90 degree or 135 or 180, whatever you want. Awesome tool. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to buy one, buy it through my link, will you? So I bent these 30-inch overlap, and I measured where I get a drop. Should come out about right. Didn't say anything about these, but these are batter boards, these things here. And they're outside of the foundation hole, and I've used my laser and I squared everything up. It's perfectly square, so that little string intersection is perfectly square. Pull those lines off when they pour, and you put them back on for the foundation guy to re-square where you were. So my footing here, it's all noodly and not straight, but what I'm going to do, like right here, I'll mark that 7 inches on every one, and I'll put those on, and they'll be noodly. I can put all my vertical bar in, won't be straight, and then I'm going to put kickers, and I'll come back and go to the string line. And once I straighten all that up, everything will straighten up together, and that's the plan. Okay, got them all in. You can see that it's not straight. That won't matter. As long as it's the same distance from the side of the form to the center of the wall. Then I'll go along with turnbuckles and straighten that whole thing out. So this is my wall line, my square wall line off my batter boards. I know that the heel of the footing is 18 inches outside of footing to the wall. So I'm going to make a mark at 18. I square that. Only got to go over a quarter. Okay, now that I got all my verticals in and all my bar hung and everything, instead of concrete stakes, I like to use these if you got some good rocky soil. It's like a 5/8 by 12 inch lag bolt. Leftovers from another job. As long as there's no rocks right here. Right there, and if it kind of noodles in the rocks, that's good, makes it tight. And you don't need a lot of up pressure, it's just this lateral. So when you crank on this, and you can move it, and then I can center line on my string, and this rebar will be laser straight. It's gonna be perfect. Gotta go out a quarter, so that's in. So I just turn the turnbuckle until that lines up with my string line. Okay, big day. We finally have a permit. I have footings inspected, and we are pouring in about a half hour. Got everything ready. A year and 9 months since we bought this property, and it's been in a continuous paperwork flow the whole time. First, we had to reallocate the water right from a different, 30 miles away to here. That took 5 months. Then we applied for the well permit. Took 7 or 8 months. Then we waited for the well guy. Then we had to go through all the engineering and all the junk, county zoning. I mean, it's been a long process, but we're ready to rock and roll now. So I'm a little bit of a tightwad. I'm not gonna get a pump for this, which I probably should, but we're gonna just get a truck right here and use the skid steer and fill that back. $1,500, maybe $2,000 I'll save on a pump. Oh, here we go. Finally started. Can't believe it. Alright, footings are poured after a long day. Had to wait for a long time for trucks. Got them all in. Started stripping a little bit because that stuff they sent first was really hard. Gonna have the wall guy come now, pour these walls, then I'll do all my backfill and the plumbing, get everything in and ready to go for a slab. steel building sitting on site, ready to roll. Put everything in, ready to go. Steel mate really worked good. You can see these are leaning. Kind of pushed my rebar, but it doesn't matter. Everything's in line, they clipped in. They seem to strip pretty easy. So definitely like those. Alright. Time to take a little Memorial weekend time off. Then we'll be back at it. Gonna set up footings on the house over there. On the next episode, I screw up and I drive the forklift off into the hole. We get ready to pour footings on the house and set everything up, and poured with the pump this time made life a whole lot easier. We're ready to go for ICF now.